Almighty God, hallowed be the name. Faithful God, you are worthy to receive all the praise. For you alone, you're the air that I breathe, the song that I sing, you're the lover of my soul. With you, there is no impossibility. With you, I can move the mountain. Whatever you say will surely come to pass. At the mention of your name, every knee must bow. Oh, unchangeable.
Your career should not take the place of your home. Still talking on family. I know why I consistently do that. What has it been with the household of Adam and Eve? What followed next? Cain and Abel. Household enmity, like it's still happening today. A brother is doing well, or a sister is doing well. The whole family gangs up against her. Or one decides to get jealous about the goodness of God for the other, instead of rejoicing about the goodness of God. The envy, when not checked, leads to murder. That was what we saw with Cain and Abel. But the unfortunate thing is that as parents, we do not take such actions very seriously, because we do not bother about the consequences of that happens. Let's read Genesis 37. Genesis 37, I'll read from verse 12. It says, Then his brothers went to feed their father's flock in Shechem, and Israel said to Joseph, Are not your brothers feeding the flock in Shechem? Come, I'll send you to them. So he said to him, Here I am. Then he said to him, Please go and see if it is well with your brothers and well with the flocks, and bring back word to me. So he sent him out of the valley of Hebron and went to Shechem. Now a certain man found him, and there he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying, What are you seeking? So he said, I'm seeking my brothers. Please tell me where they are feeding their flocks. And the man said, They have departed from here. For I heard them say, Let us go to Dothan. So Joseph went after his brothers and found them in Dothan. Now when they saw him afar off, even before he came near them, they conspired against him to kill him. Then they said to one another, Look, this dreamer is coming. Come therefore, let us now kill him and cast him into some pit. And we shall say, Some wild animals has devoured him. We shall see what becomes of his dream. We shall see what becomes of his dream. Household enemy. Family. Brothers, brethren. Their younger brother had brought meal to them. And look at what they had to say. They said, Let us kill him and see what becomes of his dream. Let us kill him and see what becomes of his dream. Household wickedness. Let us kill him and see what becomes of his dream. I've been trying to analyze turning point to us. And I mean the point where you have reached and you make up your mind that, look, there has to be a change. We have tried to analyze from last Saturday, been analyzing of what is been happening and at what point we should get to that point. The point where you should say enough of this wickedness. The point where as a mother, you should take a second look at your life. Have I really been a mother? The fruit of my womb, what are they like? Am I proud of my seeds? As a father, is that point, that turning point is the point where you should look back and say, I have made all the millions, but what's my life like? Am I proud of my children? When my phone rings, am I expecting evil news, disgraceful news from the children? Turning point. Turning point. I gave us example last week that the serpent was able to penetrate Adam and Eve because Adam was not by the side of Eve as at that time. So the serpent picked that point, that time where Eve was alone, to come rearrange the instructions that God had given. And remember, that instruction was given to Adam. Of course, if Adam was with Eve, they would have been able to carry out the instruction perfectly well. But they were apart. And after being apart, what was it that followed? Their children, their offspring, Cain and Abel. One killed up. Cain got up, killed Abel. And it continued. So the turning point is the point where you should come to the reality and the truth of life, that you have missed it. Whether as a businessman, you have done everything to make the business grow. You have killed. You have gone into different occult activities. You have lied. You have cheated. You have done everything. And when you look back, you're not proud of your supposedly achievements. As a father, you're not proud of your home. As a woman, you're not proud. As a wife, you're not proud. That's your turning point. Wonderful viewers, it is the time when you are truly tired of your ways. It is the time when, as a student, you should sit back to say, okay, almost every night I go to sleep with married men. What am I really looking for? Artificial nail? The head of a dead Indian woman? You can grow your own hair. What am I actually looking for? Why can't I sit down and read my books? Why would I allow the lecturers to be violating me because I want to pass my exams? That's the turning point. The point where you should sit back and when you think about your life, you want to vomit. The turning point of a father, when you should say, yes, I've gotten to the peak of my career, I've done everything, but I don't have a home. I think I need to get back home. Because after the career, after being called the ZMD, the EMD, the chairman of this oil company, that oil company, the general overseer of this and that, and every day you wish your children never appear in public. You wish your children are never connected to you. That's the point. That should be your turning point. Your turning point is that point where you have done everything evil. And I mean everything evil. And on that next journey, your turning point should be the point where you say, now how many people I don't kill now? All this kill. The native doctor again, he save the money go remain, he no go finish. Make I bring one virgin again. I don't tire now. Human beings go finish because I dey look for money. That's your turning point. A turning point when as a public officer you don't blink. When whatever is supposed to be beneficial to 100 people, you transfer to your bank account. Your turning point should be the time you look at the consequences. You look at other rich men who have done what you're doing now, either as civil servants or as politicians, and where they are today. Some knowing using the money to find the best doctors in the whole world. Your turning point should be the point where you should ask yourself, after all this money, what next? Money is good, but the circumstances. If as a politician, you're supposed to tie a road that will last for 5 years, the money you have been given will be enough for you to tie a good road and still make profit and live well. But you decide to put sawdust under black paint and you take 99% of profit and use less than 1% of the road. Your turning point should be the point you realize that someday you might be using that money to pay for the best medical doctors in the whole world. And I don't see anybody that is coming out of a doctor and is smiling. Even if you can afford the best doctors, it's not an interesting life. That should be your turning point in life. Your turning point should be the point where, as a civil servant, you're sitting on billions of naira. You appear to work every day with one suit you bought from Wuse Market, with your shoe facing the heavens, and you're imagined to be a saint. But you know that you're not. You know that if Nigeria ever gets to know what you do, that the whole world will be shocked. Your turning point should be the point where you ask yourself the genuine question. If I continue to collect the allowances of dead military officers, and their widows are suffering, and their children turn to carrying arms because their gratuities, their benefits are not paid, if they are supposed to give a widow of a police corporal who dies in active service money in January, and you leave it in your account to get interest of millions of naira from that money, and within that period the children drop out of school, the turning point should be the point you should ask yourself questions. Supposing God reverses the condition and your family comes to the position of life where you will now use all that money you have stolen to begin to, either you get them out today, you get this one out of cell, tomorrow you transfer this one to replace kidney, to replace liver, to do this one, to do that one. Turning point should be the point where you realize that the cost money is a problem you're facing in your family. Whether we like it or not, the money we spend determines what happiness we have. If you're spending cost money, and what is the definition of cost money? If a widow of a policeman that is killed by armed robbers keep coming to the office every day crying, they should pay the husband's money. They should pay the husband's money. They should pay the husband's money. Yeah, government has not released now. Government has not done this one now. Government has not done that now. The tears that she cries every day, as many as are connected to that delay or to making sure that eventually they do not even get it at all, that money that goes into their own pocket is already cost. And it's a payback time when your children begin to behave in funny ways. So it's not for you. You're a police commissioner. You know everybody. Pick that boy. Lock him up in the cell. It is for you as a father to turn back. What are you doing as commissioner of police? The men who do the work, what is it that goes to them? Is a state governor supporting you? And the whole support, 90% of the support goes into only your own account. And the men who suffer in the command, they get nothing. Their hunger is a cost on your money. We can go on and on and on. Why am I giving all these examples? So that you find out the category you belong to. And you come to the turning point. The turning point when, as a politician, you do everything to get into office, including sacrificing the life of your staff. A staff is very loyal to you. You take that staff to the native doctor. The native doctor finishes attending to you. You say, "Oh, Baba, this my staff is very loyal. In fact, I don't want anything to happen to him. Give him that concussion to drink too." Innocently, the staff will collect. But that concussion is the concussion of death, because you want to use the staff for your next election. The staff gets back home. All of a sudden, something happens. If nobody knows, doesn't God know? God knows when your hands are clean. He knows when everything that has happened is genuine. He also knows when you have done something just because you want to sit on that seat. And of course, that seat will be hot for you. It's the reality, it's not a cause. After 4 years, that's why some persons after 4 years, when they look back, They were even better off before they went than when they came out. And in 1 month, they can begin to beg colleagues for 20 naira. Turning point. The turning point is the point where you have done everything wrong. You have lived your own life. You have behaved like God is not in existence. You have behaved like nothing matters. You have done every evil. You are still doing the evil, but you know that things are not well with you. The turning point is that point where you decide to drop all that evil, where you decide to say enough is enough. Thank God, this turning point comes to different people in different ways and different ages. Some turn at early age. Some turn at old age. Unfortunately, some turn at their grave when all is ended. Some turn at their grave because they never get to turn. They continue that life of deceit until it becomes too late. I'll return.
It's real. according to your word, according to your promises. I can stand secure. Carve upon my heart the truth that sets me free. According to your word, O Lord, be it unto me.
Keep a date with King Jesus and I Ministries, third Saturday every month. Team, I will carry my Isaac at King Jesus and I Shepherd, number 7, Salgadifo Street, opposite Deputy Governor's Office off DBS Road, Asaba, Delta State. Time, 7 a.m. Come and encounter the God of Sarah. And Sarah said, God has made me laugh, and all who hear will laugh with me. Genesis chapter 21, verse 6. Don't miss it. Come and be blessed. Jesus is Lord.
Wonderful viewers, welcome back. This is King Jesus and I. Were looking at the turning point. We looked at different areas of our lives as politicians, as civil servants, as men of God. As men of God. I don't believe that people who give in churches are gullible. I'm not part of that school of thought, because by the grace of God, I give a lot and have been so greatly blessed by my supporting the work of God. But some of us, some men of God, make people think that those who give do not have brains because of what we do. Men are sowing. They are sowing to God of heaven and earth. But you are the physical representative that is supposed to use that money they sow for the work of God. What do? Your wife comes up on a Sunday. Oh, I was in Los Angeles and I got this Louis Vuitton in Los Angeles for £5,000, for $5,000. But when I got to Las Vegas, I now found out that that same Louis Vuitton was for $10,000. You see the wisdom. I'm a woman of God. I'm using wisdom. So my wisdom has made me buy to know that the same Louis Vuitton can be different prices. I got it for $5,000 in Los Angeles. And you can see the same Louis Vuitton is $10,000 in Las Vegas. That is wisdom. Is that a testimony? Is that truly wisdom? That you talk to the congregation. Some of them hadn't had breakfast before they came to church. And the 10 naira they have, the 1,000 naira they have, they say, oh, Lord, I've heard you can change situations. I'm going to sow this 1,000 and see what you can turn my life to. And then the pastor's wife is telling stories of how she visited different countries, or how she bought one bag for $5,000 from one shop, found it cheaper than that. And somebody is taking calculator and calculating, multiplying. $5,000 multiplied by 360. Is that a testimony? What are you doing? What are you doing? When men of God come out and tell us of how much they enjoy their holidays, what is your occupation? What is your occupation? You should tell stories of how you went on foreign evangelism and how you won souls for God. Not how you went to the best hotels to have dinner with your family. You're telling husband and wife, keep your family together. You see, Nigerian men don't know how to love. You should keep your family together. Like last year, the previous year we went to UK, but last year we decided to go to the Bahamas, and we checked into a poolside apartment, myself and our 3 children. We had a good time. I needed to show my husband, my wife, that I can love her. I can really love her. We ate breakfast by the sea. Who are you telling? Your congregation that is struggling to buy 1 module of beans from Wuse Market? The Lord will hold you accountable for that. Is that how to keep a family together? How you ate breakfast by the poolside? How is it was my wedding anniversary. Oh, I needed to show my babe. Show your wife love. Show your wife love. I needed to show my wife love. We flew first class. I spoiled her. With whose money? You're discouraging the work of God. And it should be your turning point. Tell your congregation of the victories, of the exploits in the kingdom of God. How you went for evangelism and souls were won to God. Nobody talks about village evangelism any longer. And your wife comes out, oh man, buy gift for your wives, buy gift. Look at what I have on my hand. This is diamond. My husband got it for me on our 10th anniversary. It is your turning point. You're discouraging people from the work of God. Because they know that your diamond Your breakfast at the Bahamas is the offering and their support for God's work. No matter what you do, aside preaching the gospel, there are things that you're not supposed to say as a man of God. If you have sold your heart to the world, to the flesh so much, that as a man of God, you can spend that kind of money when your congregation, half of your congregation, are very, very hungry and sick, looking for money to pay hospital bill. Some churches are so bad that even their pastors, the pastors of these men and women of God who come to flaunt wealth, their pastors can't pay their accommodation. They can't pay their children's school fees. If you have sold your heart to the flesh, and you could come out to sing about diamond and breakfast on the sea, and then something is wrong. Turning point. Like I was saying before the break, you can turn at any time. The desire should be to turn. Because if you don't turn, you're just walking through the wasted route of life. Whether as a general overseer of the biggest church in the whole world, whatever you're getting away with today, you can't get away with it forever. Whether as a husband who is more interested in career, or all he sings is career, you won't get away with it, because a time will come you will weep and not even remember that career. Whether as a wife who is more interested in sitting 7 hours at the salon instead of looking at the children, you are on the wrong route of life. Wonderful viewers, this episode will conclude next week. We're taking a part 3 of it, because I need to bring out to you examples of persons and what they had done.
Unchangeable, reliable.